Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here's your latest integral of the day. We have the indefinite integral of sine of the natural log of x dx. If you want to try it on your own, go ahead, pause the video. I'll give you a little hint. You need to do a substitution first and then integration by parts. And since many students are starting Calculus 2 for the first time this time of year, the integral of the day videos will be geared towards sampling a more straightforward collection of integration techniques that are traditionally covered in the Calculus 2 curriculum. Okay, so since I said we're going to do a substitution and then by parts, I want to save my variable u for when I do by parts. So I'm going to go ahead and let t be the natural log of x. And that might seem like a strange choice, but things will unfurl nicely in just a moment. Before I go ahead and differentiate both sides, I'm actually going to rewrite this in exponential form. It's going to make things easier. So if t is natural log of x, that's the same as e to the t equaling x. And then now let me go ahead and differentiate both sides. So then I have e to the t dt is equal to dx. And then that's beautiful because you see this dx here, I can replace with e to the t dt. Natural log of x, well, there it is, it's t. So let's rewrite now our whole integral in terms of t. So we have sine of t times e to the t dt. Okay, so now we have an integral that involves a product of a trig function and an exponential function. And I've done a whole separate video on this. In this scenario, we're going to do integration by parts twice. And it's a classic kind of boomerang problem, as some people refer to them. So I'll show you what I mean in case you've never seen it before. We're going to treat this integral that we're solving for almost like its own little variable quantity, okay? And so let's start off our first round of integration by parts, and we have to choose u and dv. And it really doesn't matter how you choose them, just so long as you're consistent in both rounds of integration by parts that we're going to do. So what do I mean by that? U could be sine t or it could be e to the t. It doesn't matter. You don't have to follow your typical rules when choosing u. I'm going to go ahead, let it be sine t, and then dv is e to the t dt. So then now du would be cosine t dt, and v, just e to the t. Very good. So let me rewrite this now. Our original integral I is equal to, remember we have this diagonal product, so that's e to the t sine t minus integral of the product of the bottom row, which would be e to the t cosine t dt. Good? Okay, so we have to apply integration by parts one more time to this integral here. And this is the important step where you just need to be consistent in how you choose u bar and dv bar in this round. So don't call them just u and v again because we've already assigned those to other quantities. In this case, usually for the second round, you put bars on top. That's traditionally what's done. So look back, since I let u be the trig function in round one, u bar also needs to be the trig function in round two. Had you set it up the other way around, then exponential function both times. Just be consistent. If you're not, what happens is you end up undoing all of this and you go back to the beginning. I learned that the hard way. My teachers never warned me, but it's okay. Here I am warning you. Then du bar is going to be negative sine t dt, and v bar would just be e to the t. Good? Oh, okay, let's see. This is going to work out nicely. Don't be scared. So I equals e to the t sine t minus, and then I'll put a big bracket. So this is round two. U bar v bar is going to be e to the t cosine t minus integral. Now notice here, since there's a minus in front of the sine t, when I multiply it by e to the t, this is going to become a plus e to the t sine t dt. Okay, how are we doing? Now I want you to look back. Hopefully this integral here is familiar. Why, yes, it's our boomerang coming back to us. It's precisely how we defined I, the integral of e to the t times sine t dt. So I'm going to go through and now just replace this with I, and look what unfolds. So we have I equals e to the t sine t minus e to the t cosine t. I'm just distributing this sweet little negative, minus I. Good? Good, Professor V. Okay, then move it over to the other side of the equation, 2I. Treat it like it's a little variable you're solving for. Then you have equals e to the t sine t minus e to the t cosine t. We're solving for I, so let's divide by 2. I want to isolate it. I equals 1/2 e to the t sine t minus 1/2 e to the t cosine t. Now, I is an integral. It's an antiderivative, so we do need to put plus c at the end of our problem, our solution, because there were no limits of integration. This is kind of like an awkward moment because it doesn't happen very naturally. Like, when did we actually anti-differentiate? We didn't really. So I know it feels peculiar. And then I know it's very exciting. We've done such great stuff, but it's not time to box our answer. No, because remember we made that substitution in the beginning? Yes, we had let t equal natural log of x. So we got to go back to the original variable. So this is 1/2 e to the natural log of x sine of natural log of x minus 1/2 e to the natural log of x cosine natural log of x plus c. And then, yes, final cleanup coming through. This is 1/2 x sine natural log of x minus 1/2 e to the ln of x is just x cosine natural log of x plus c. Beautiful. Now we're done. So there's different variations of this problem, but basically the same idea. Anytime you see a trig function like sine or cosine being multiplied by an exponential function, this double round of integration by parts with the little boomerang happens because both those functions have cyclical derivatives. So the pattern holds when integrating. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you set up u and dv differently? Did you do something differently entirely? I don't think it's quite possible to do it a variety of ways, but just please always let me know in the comments. I love hearing back from you guys. And then, like I said, the next few weeks when all the integrals of the day will be corresponding to the first few integration techniques that are covered in the Calculus 2 curriculum, just to help students out who are learning these techniques for the first time in their math career, and just to help you guys refresh and hone your skills. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Math with Professor V. If you need full-length video lectures, then head to the description box. I got you. This is going to be your one-stop shop, #1 resource to help you through your calculus courses. I'll be back sooner than later, guys. Thanks so much for your support. Bye.